Hi friends, good evening, and yeah, this is Engineering Services crash course. Engineering Service examination is on 18th July. Generally it would be in prelims would be in January, but due to Corona, they have changed the schedule this time. It is on 18th July 2021. So before that, idea is to give you an idea about engineering services. I'll be dealing with structural analysis. Right now I'll be dealing with structural analysis in GATE Academy global channel. Here good evening, hello, good evening. Yeah, fine. Who was saying good evening? Yeah. Rahul, good evening. Majid, good evening. Raj Singh, good evening. Kuldeep, Negi, hello, hi. So yeah, the total before going into deep into the subject, first based upon the previous year's notifications, this year the notification will be given on 7th April 2021. I'll be totally dealing with engineering services point of view only. I'll not be dealing with GATE point of view in this whole session. Totally it is engineering services prelims mainly. Fine, focusing on prelims. Now, so the previous year notification, if I see generally for engineering services, the previous year's notification, this is for previous year notification, ESE 2020 notification. Just giving you a brief idea. I think you might be knowing why you have selected engineering services by now. Why you have selected engineering services apart from the GATE. I always say one thing, only from syllabus, GATE syllabus and engineering services syllabus will be common, but rest of all the things is different. If you don't perform well in GATE, that doesn't mean you don't perform well in engineering services. GATE and engineering services both are different. Even though if you don't perform well in GATE, you can perform better in engineering services. Engineering services examination is like a test match. It's literally like a test match. You have to be patient and you have to be confident about the things. Now, the very basic idea is in engineering service examinations, ESE, the pattern would be, you might be knowing all these things, but just giving an idea about what would be the pattern and how should be your preparation and all those things. Present pattern is prelims, which would be for 500 marks, mains, which would be for 600 marks, personality test, which is for 200 marks, 500, 600, 200, total marks would be 1300 marks. If you score 65% of the marks, 65% of this marks will give you first rank. Just mark my words, 65% of this marks will give you first rank. 65% means how much? So 65% would be equal to 1300 multiplied with 65 by 100. 13 into 65. 13 into 70 is how much? 13 sevens are 7 3s 21, 91, 8 10, 13 5s 13 5s are 65, 8 10 65, 8 10 50, 750, 760 minus 15, 745 marks. If you get 745 marks, approximately 745 to 800 marks, you will be getting the first rank. You can mark my words. So idea, whatever the exam we write, the idea is to get the first rank. Always remember, idea is to get the first rank. Why first rank? Because you will be on the safe side that you will definitely get a job. Fine. So 65% overall, if you score 65% of marks, that would be enough. This is not for qualifying, this is your first rank mark. Maximum on an average. In previous year, yeah, people got somewhere around 800 to 810 also. It's more or less 65 to 70% of marks only. You don't have to get 100% of marks. You have to get only 65 to 70% of marks. It's a test match. It's not one day international. It's not T20 international. It's test match. Here your patience, your hard work, your persistence, your consistency, your coolness will be, tested. Throughout the examination, these things will be tested. Fine. Raj Singh, yeah, I'll cover full course of structure analysis without any doubt. सर आप कन्वेंशनल का कुछ क्वेश्चंस करवा दीजिए प्लीज. या डेफिनेटली आई कन्वेंशनल का क्वेश्चंस भी मैं करता हूँ. आपका नाम क्या है? अभितेंद्र सर्वेश. What? Yeah, I'll be doing conventional questions also, but first I'll focus on the prelims, then I'll do the conventional questions also. But here you should not have any doubt whether I'll be completing full syllabus or not. Full syllabus with pure concepts will be covered without any doubt. Which book you have to use? Raj Singh, you asked me that. You don't have to use any books. The concepts, whatever I am saying, that would be enough for you. But for practice, just get the previous year's books. I think GATE Academy is providing that previous year's booklet. Just take that booklet. But concept, I'll be covering all the concept. More or less, my concepts would be enough. That's what I feel from my experiences. Next, when I'm going there, don't feel like I'm leaving because I have to see there only. Fine. Naveen Navy, yeah, thanks for the compliment, Navi. Yeah, you can trust me on structure analysis, guys, because this is, for GATE I was honest that I told you in GATE Academy Global channel only that based upon the views and the reviews I'll be taking the classes, like I'll be completing full courses or not. All these things depends upon the views and things. But engineering services crash course, its main idea is to complete the whole syllabus within the time of your prelims and make sure that every person who has attended my class will clear structural analysis 100% of questions. That was my main motto of it. So I will not leave at any cost. I will not leave engineering services for sure. Mainly structural analysis I will not leave. This course will be completed thoroughly so that you will clear prelims. I will not I will not give guarantee for mains. But for mains, once again come back, we will discuss mains, but prelims you will definitely clear. That's what I can say. Thank you, Suraj. Vishal, yes, trust you. Thanks for the trust, Vishal. Mode of the language will more or less will be English. Nikhil Anand, mode of the language will more or less will be in English. लेकिन आपका जो भी doubts है आप अपना language हिंदी में पूछ सकते हैं. और there are people from Telugu also. They'll be asking from there Tamil, Hindi, English, Kannada, Malayalam, these languages I am fine with it, but my mode of explanation will be purely in English because there are many. This is global channel, this is not CEME Hindi channel. I'll be honest over here. लेकिन जो भी डाउट है आपका आप हिंदी में पूछ सकते हैं, मैं क्लियर करता हूँ. ठीक है, आप देख सकते हैं मेरा हिंदी उतना अच्छा नहीं है लेकिन मैं क्लियर कर सकता हूँ आपको. ठीक है. So this is the thing. Total marks is 1300 marks. If you score 65% of marks, you will get the first rank. First rank, if you get the first rank, what is the use of it? What is the use of it? So let's see the previous year's notification. In the previous year's notification, he has given 10 posts. Indian Railway Services Stores, Central Engineering Services Roads, Group A. Next, Survey of India, Group A service, Border Service, Defence Service, Military MES cadre, right? This is also Military Engineering Services. Next, Central Water Services, CWC, Skill Development. This year, you won't find Indian Engineering Railway Services. Railway Services is removed from Engineering Services. It was added to somewhere else. So these things will not be there. These two categories will not be there. Rest 8 categories will be there. These 8 categories will be there. So why engineering services? Why engineering services? If you ask me, The topmost job for civil engineer in India is from engineering services only. Topmost job. You don't have any job beyond this. Like from India, if you'll be representing civil engineer from India in other countries also. Like if there might be bilateral issues, or if you reach to a topmost position, let us say chief engineer, or in some cases it's chief engineer, in military it would be brigadier cadre like that, and then in other cases it would be general manager cadre, whatever the cadre it is. Once if you reach, let us say at the age of 50 or 55, you will be representing India. It's more or less equal to IAS cadre. IAS is the topmost position. Chief Secretary of the PMO Secretary is the topmost job. He is the one who is earning 2.5 lakhs per month right now. PMO Secretary, all the public employees, public sector employees will be working under PMO Secretary, right? Prime Minister Office Secretary. The same thing, even though all the civil engineers of certain group, whether it is in military engineering services or border services, this is the topmost job. Many people will be working under you. Till now the railways was the best job, it is considered, because 10,000 people will be working under you, and it was considered as best job as well as tough job also. But yeah, but anyway, they have removed this and they have added railway engineering for railway engineering services. They have removed from here, they have removed from UPSC civil also. They said they will be conducting new exam for it. We have to wait and see how that exam would be. But anyway, 8 cadres will be there. Central CPWD, generally whatever the municipalities and all those things, central municipalities and all those things will be under CPWD only. Survey of India, maps and all those things will be under this control only. Border roads, India Nepal roads, India Pakistan roads, India Bangladesh roads, border roads will be dealt by these guys. Indian Defence Services, anyway the defense services. In airport, the runways has to be constructed, all those things will be under your control only. And airport, in Navy also, whatever the roads that has to be constructed. And in military engineering services, obviously in military engineering services, whatever the constructions that is happening over there will be under your control only. CWC, mainly water will be under state control only, but CWC will be just like hawk eye. It will be seeing what exactly is happening in each and every state. The work culture is also, it's like just managerial culture. You more or less office duty over here. Skill development services, it is a new one where more is of mechanical, less is of civil engineering things over there. Whenever they say civil engineering, our idea is to go construct a better structure for them and come back. That should be your idea. So for this, the topmost job in the India, for this we will be preparing for engineering services for a certain period of time. So idea is, if you get the first rank, you will definitely get this. Obviously, if you get the first rank, you will be given the job, right? So be sure that you get your first rank. Fine. Now to get this, I told you there will be 3 platforms: prelims, mains, personality test. If you clear prelims, you will go to mains. If you clear mains, you will go to personality test. In prelims, what would be there in prelims? What exactly will be there in prelims? I will be more interested in civil engineering only, because I am a civil engineering. I will be dealing with civil engineering concepts, so I will be discussing this. Your exam notification will be given on 7th April. 7th April of this month. 27th April, before that you have to apply for the examination. 18th July will be your examination, prelims examination. The centers, anyway, whatever it is near to you, you can apply for that center. Fine. And there will be eligibility criteria and all those things. Even the 4th year students can apply for this, no issues in that. The idea is, and degree also, if you just pass, that is enough. 35% of marks, if you have degree, 35-40% marks is enough. Unlike in GATE, where some PSUs will be taking only 65 to 70% marks, no issues about that. 35 to 40% of marks is enough over here. Fine. This is one thing. Next, if you see, prelims will be on any Sunday. I mean 18 July prelims. This will be for one day. There will be morning session and there will be afternoon session. Morning session will be for general studies. Morning session will be for general studies, and afternoon session will be for civil engineering. Since we are civil engineers, we will be dealing with civil engineering. So morning session will be for general studies, and evening session will be for civil engineering. As you can see, morning session paper 1 Paper 1 is for general studies. Paper 1 is for general studies and engineering aptitude. Paper 2 is for civil engineering. It is 2 hours, 200 marks, 3 hours, 300 marks. Overall it is 500 marks. How many questions will be there? There will be 100 questions. There will be 150 questions here. 100 questions in the first half, 150 questions in the second half. Each question carries 2 marks, 200 marks. 150 questions, 3 hours. Each question carries 2 marks, 300 marks. There will be negative marking, 1/3. 1/3 will be your negative marking. That means if it is correct, you will get +2. If it is wrong, you will get -2/3. And if you don't attempt that question, you will not get the negative marks. Fine. This is offline test. This is not online test. GATE is an online test and this one is offline test. You might be knowing all these things, but once again I am discussing so that you will be having a clear idea what exactly you are going to do. Fine. So general studies and engineering aptitude, 100 questions, each question carries 2 marks, so maximum marks is 200 marks. 150 questions, each question carries 2 marks, so maximum marks is 300 marks. So overall it is 500 marks. Fine. So this is how you will be doing. It's not general studies and engineering aptitude. Okay. And if I see the syllabus, syllabus for the general studies, which totally changed from 2017. So for general studies, this is the syllabus. Current issues of national and international importance relating to social, economical and industrial development. Indirectly it means it is current issues, general knowledge. So you should be having an idea of general knowledge. Generally this will be for 10 marks, 10 to 20 marks. General knowledge is for 10 to 20 marks. Engineering aptitude, this will also be for 10 to 20 marks. Engineering aptitude will also be from 10 to 20 marks. Next, mathematics, engineering mathematics, this is also for 10 to 20 marks. 10 to 20 marks. General studies will be for 10 to 20 marks. Engineering aptitude will also be for 10 to 20 marks. Engineering mathematics and numerical analysis is also for 10 to 20 marks. The major scoring 30 to 60 marks will be from these 3 subjects only. 30 to 60 marks. In previous years, if you see, minimum 40 to 45 marks constantly they were asking from these 3 topics. So be very clear, and these are scoring subjects. If you ask me, the most scoring subjects here in first paper is general knowledge, engineering aptitude and engineering mathematics. Then it goes like, engineering drawing, which you might have seen in your first year of engineering drawing. So engineering drawing will be 5 to 10 marks. Engineering drawing is 5 to 10 marks. Fine. Next, quality practices in the construction, standards and quality practices in the construction, quality of construction. So this will also be from 5 to 10 marks. 5 to 10 marks will be for this. Fine. Basics of energy and environment, conservation, environmental pollution and degradation, climate change, environmental impact assessment. You know what? Here the questions will be asked from general knowledge as well as climate change, both the things, environment, basics of energy and environment. So here the possibility would be from 10 to 20 marks. Like the question can be framed in such a way that this year climate change meeting was held at, let us say, Geneva, right? So where is the headquarters of energy and environment? So all these type of questions they might ask. So there will be a mix of general knowledge and basics of energy and environment questions. This will be for 10 to 20 marks. Next, CPM and PERT, basics of project management, CPM and PERT, 5 to 10 marks they will ask from CPM and PERT also. 5 to 10 marks from CPM and PERT. Next, material science and engineering. Generally, for mechanical engineering people, this is very much easy. Anyway, for material science and engineering is also from 5 to 10 marks. Material science and engineering is also 5 to 10 marks. Information and communication technologies and their applications, we should know the technology also. That is the idea, they have introduced all these things. ICT tools, this will be also for 5 to 10 marks. And then ethics and values in the engineering profession. So this will also be from 5 to 10 marks. I think professors are allotted for this one, The idea is out of 200 marks, 100 to 110 marks is a good marks. If you ask me, that is a good range. Don't feel like I should get 200 out of 200 and attempt everything. There will be negative markings. Fine. So be very much clear. I don't think so everyone is good in all the 10 to 12 concepts. So here there are 10 concepts. Everyone can't be good in all the things. Fine. 10 into 20, 200 marks. Let us say there are 10 concepts, 10 into 20, you will be getting 200 marks out of it. Fine. So that would be the idea. So don't think that like I'll get 200 marks. 100 to 120 is a decent score and better score if you ask me. If you score 140, 150, that means you are very much good in that. But anyway, you should give, if you ask me, maximum 1 to 1.5 month time, not more time for this. No, it's just waste of time. Don't spend much time on this. Your first paper 1 to 1.5 month is enough. Scoring up to 100 to 120 is a decent score. Even the topper will be getting 120 to 130 only, not more than that. It's just like you should attempt what you know, if you should leave what you don't know. That means 50 to 60% of marks is enough. 60% of 200, 120, that is enough. Be very much clear in that and be very much cautious in this. Fine, it's not purely general knowledge. There are many things included in that. There is ICT, there is ethics, and there is project management, there is environmental, and there is quality control, there is designs, engineering aptitude, mathematics, current issues and importance. So be very much careful in this. Any doubts you can ask me. Hi. Video is buffering. Sound, you do have problem with sound? It's full volume only here. Nikhil Anand, it's full volume. Now can you hear me? Yeah. Abhitendra Sarvesh, I'll guide you on matrix in future. Sound increase. Now can you hear me, guys? Now? Hello, now here, can you hear me? Okay, fine. Now video is buffering. I think now video is not buffering. Guide us on matrix in future. Definitely, if it is structural analysis, I'll guide you in each and every part till the end. I'll be dividing this into the 6 chapters, each and every chapter, every concept from engineering services point of view. Like tomorrow, if you see a structural analysis question, I'll make sure that you will score 100% of marks in the structural analysis question. Definitely, I am not going to leave you. I'll promise you that I'll complete the crash course thoroughly without any doubts. Once again, I am saying this, I'll not repeat this. I am going to solve all the concepts clearly in the crash course. Fine. Take my words, mark my words. And anyway, if you are having any doubts in the first paper, you can ask me. Doubts in the sense, I have not discussed the concepts here. Any doubts like how to attempt the paper and how to prepare for this 1.5 month, just in 1.5 month, 10 subjects, 1.5 month maximum, 1 to 1.5 day you have to complete the syllabuses. I think professors are allotted to this. They will be giving you like daily 2 hours, 3 hours of time. Fine. So only maximum daily 2 to 3 hours. Don't go beyond that. If you ask me, going beyond that is also waste of time. Fine. So yeah. Any doubts in this? Any doubts? Hey, hi Anonymous, good evening. Structural dynamic teachings or not? Structural dynamics, that should be, dynamics is generally taught in geotechnical engineering. If it is not taught over there, ask me, I'll discuss in structural dynamics also. No doubts, no things. How to prepare for part 1? I told you, right? For part 1, maximum like 2 to 3 hours, 2 hours per day, not more than that. You should not, more idea should be given for part 2, not for part 1. Anyway, in 1.5, if you have completed your part 2, then for part 1, 1.5 to 2 months max, not more than that. That means July means before July, May, June, July. So May and June, concentrate only on part 1. Because if nearly if you read, you can easily remember. Fine. So that is the thing I am saying, May and June will be enough for this, and February, March, April you should complete your part 2 thoroughly. May and June go for part 1. If you are preparing like that, or if you are preparing daily 2 hours for different things, then from now onwards daily 2 hours will be enough for part 1. Daily 2 hours you have to give for part 1, the rest of the time concentrate on part 2. Okay, that is the thing. Now this is paper 1 and paper 2. Like afternoon session 150 marks, afternoon session, sorry, 150 questions, 300 marks, 3 hours. 150 questions, 300 marks, 3 hours. Each question carries 2 marks. There will be 1/3 of negative marks for each and every question. Fine. As we know, the concept for GATE and engineering services will be same. Syllabus is same. You will be having building materials. In the afternoon paper, you will be having building materials, soil mechanics, everything, building materials, soil mechanics, structural analysis, and then design of steel structures, steel, concrete, CPM part, strength of materials also. Fine. Generally strength of materials question will be more. From my experience I can say strength of materials, RCC, soil mechanics questions, and then fluid mechanics questions will be more. Environmental questions also will be less, only these questions will be of more range, 300 marks. Fine. And then hydraulic missions, environmental engineering, geotechnical engineering, and sorry, here it is not soil mechanics, solid mechanics. If you want me to divide the marks, building materials will be for 10 to 20 marks. Solid mechanics, this will be carrying more marks here, 30 to 40 marks. Strength of materials or solid mechanics, which will be for 30 to 40 marks. Structural analysis, only in the prelims I am saying, only in prelims, not in mains, only in prelims. Structural analysis will be for some 20 to 30 marks. Structural analysis, 10 questions minimum you will find from structural analysis, 15 questions minimum you will find from solid mechanics, 15 to 20 questions, and then 5 to 10 questions you will find from building materials. Fine. Next, steel structures will also be from 20 to 30 marks, or steel structures will also be for 20 to 30 marks. Okay. Next, RCC will also be from 20 to 30 marks. Construction planning, recently they are increasing this also, this will also be from 20 to 30 marks. So approximately 60 to 70 questions or 80 questions will be from paper 1 only. 80 questions out of 150 questions, 80 questions will be from paper 1. 80 questions means 80 into 2, that is 160 marks will be from paper 1 only. Minimum 80 questions you will find from paper 1. 80 questions, not 80 marks. 80 questions will be from paper 1, and rest 70 questions will be from paper 2. So I mean combined, it will be given combinedly for prelims, paper 1 and paper 2 clubbed. So all the things will be there for 150 questions, all the subjects will be there. And here also fluid mechanics and hydraulic missions, 20 to 40 marks, and then hydrology and water resource engineering, this will be from 10 to 20 marks, this will be very less. And then environmental engineering will be from, this will also be from 20 to 40 marks, and geotechnical engineering will also be from 20 to 40 marks. Geotechnical engineering will also be from 20 to 40 marks, 20 to 40. Surveying and geology, this will also be a good number of questions, 20 to 30. And then transportation engineering will also be from 20 to 30 marks. Tunneling and alignment, this will be some 5 marks. Maximum tunneling, I don't know who is going to design tunneling, discuss tunneling with you, but many people don't discuss the tunnelings with you. So the tunnelings will be for 5 marks, and then railway systems will be for 5 to 10 marks. Airport will also be from 5 to 10 marks. Fine. So totally from this point you will be getting, I mean from paper 2 you will be getting 70 marks, 70 questions. If I see strength of materials, structural analysis, RCC, steel structures, CPM PERT, building materials, from this you will be getting 80 questions, 80 questions, 80 into 2, 160 marks. FM, fluid mechanics, geotechnical engineering, environmental engineering, water resource engineering, hydrology, surveying or geomatics engineering. Geomatics or surveying both are same. Geomatics engineering, and then transportation engineering, and in transportation engineering also tunneling, all those things if I include, tunneling and all those things if I include, collectively all these things 70 questions will be there, 70 into 2, 140 marks, totally 140, 160 plus 140, there will be 300 marks. 300 marks will be asked from all these subjects, and you have to complete all these subjects. If let us say if you are starting now, March, April you have to complete this, May, June you have to complete your first paper, July you should write your second paper, I mean July you should write your examination. I think this is crash course. If you are starting now, this is the idea. If you have already started, this will be a best revision for you. This will be really best revision for you if you concentrate properly. Fine. Any doubts till now? You can ask me. Out of 300 marks, the best score would be 180 to 200. Best score is 180 to 200, 60%. 60% to 70%. Best score would be 180 to 200. In first paper, it is for first paper is for 200 marks. 200 marks, best score would be 100 to 120. In 300 marks, best score would be 180 to 200. So collectively, topper will be getting somewhere around 300 to 340 marks. This is how much topper will be getting. He will not be getting 500 out of 500. Prelims is not that much scoring. Mains is scoring. Mains out of 600, you will get 500 or 550 also you can score. Mains is scoring. Prelims maximum you can score this. The idea is don't go for negative marking. That if you don't know the answer, leave that. But don't go for negative marking. That's what I'll constantly say. Don't go for negative. If you don't know the question, leave that question. 50% is also enough, but don't go for the negative markings. I'll constantly say this. If you don't know, leave that question. You may not be knowing, but you have already attempted 50% of correct questions. Here for each and every question there will be negative markings, and this is only MCQ questions. There will not be NAT, MSQs and all those things. Only MCQ questions. So be very much careful while answering the question. Don't go for any negative marking. Once again I am saying there will be MCQ and there will be assertion reason questions. MCQ and assertion reason questions. So be very careful. Once again I am saying if you don't know the question, don't leave it. Don't go for negative or wild guess. Fine. Any doubts up to here? You can ask me. When class is started? Class is started at 7 p.m. Aman. Actually, it has to be from 6 p.m. But today, due to some work, I have delayed up to 7 p.m. If you just tell me at what time you are comfortable. If you are comfortable from 6 to 8, I will take from 6 to 8. If you are comfortable from 7 to 9, I will take from 7 to 9. You have to tell me that. Okay. Who is covering SOM in ESE crash course? I don't know, Prabhakar. As soon as I know, I will let you know. Maybe Venugopal Sharma, I think he will be taking. I exactly don't know who is going to cover that. 7 is okay. 6 to 8, 7 to 9, 6 to 8, 7 to 9, Suraj, 7 to 9. Many people are saying 7 to 9. If you are okay with 7 to 9, I will go with 7 to 9. No issues for me with that. I will go with 7 to 9. 7 is okay, fine, no issues. I will go from 7 to 9. Any doubts in this? Any doubts in preparation? Any doubts? Idea should be very much clear, very much focused. And once again I am saying, this 4 months, stop everything. Stop everything. Once again I am saying stop every unnecessary thing. Idea is eat, sleep, study, repeat. I always say to the people at the end, eat, study, sleep, repeat. Repeat. You have to do this constantly. Eat, study, sleep, repeat. Why? Because you don't have a choice. If you do this properly, understand the concepts, application of the concepts is also very much important. Understand, apply the concepts. Mugging up will not give you better results over here. You can remember, but at the same time you should know how to solve it as soon as possible. In engineering services, calculators, prelims calculators are not allowed. That is the reason when I calculated 65% or 70% of marks, I am doing it on my own. Why? Because try to learn that. Calculators are not allowed. You have to be fast in calculations only on your own thing. Fine. So this is, I think this would be the better idea. You don't have to be like, I'll enjoy with my friends, or enjoying or spending time with the family, spending time with the partners, girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever it is, and all those things. Stop for 4 months. If you ask me, stop for 1 year. If somebody pressurizes you, also say, I don't want you, I don't need you, nothing. My aim is very much important for me. So just keep everything aside, whether it is financial tension, whether it is emotional tension, whether it is any other tension, all those things, keep that aside. Your idea is, if you work hard today, work hard and smart today, get the better rank, get the better job, then the life would be beautiful. Work hard, enjoy tomorrow. If you enjoy today, you will be working hard tomorrow. Keep in mind, they are privatizing PSUs, but they'll never privatize this. These institutes, they can't. Military you can't privatize. If you privatize military, then India will be gone. You can't privatize military, you can't privatize this border roads systems, or you can't privatize the CPWDs and all those things. If you privatize, then the quality, everything, India can't be properly organized. So definitely these institutions will be there. Of course jobs will be less. Sometimes it would be 150 jobs, sometimes it would be 250 jobs only, and the 50% will be gone for reservation. You can say 60% is gone for reservation, only 40% will be for general candidates. So based on that, your idea should be very much clear, like at least minimum 2 to 3 lakh civil engineering students only will attempt each and every year. Out of that, 150 to 250 will be only people will be picked. So keeping this in your mind, your preparation strategy, and then your mode of preparation, your idea of keep yourself motivated constantly. It's like I told you, it's a test match. Test match means constantly you have to keep on motivated, like how Pujara played in Australia. If you ask me the anchor part, what was done by Pujara, he was taking blows continuously, but he was not giving his wicket. Because of that, bowlers bowled loose balls, and other batsmen who came were able to play freely, right? So the consistent hard work, persistence will give you the first rank, better rank. Idea is to sir, I have watched 3 Idiots, and you will say that life is a race and all those things. I am not saying life is a race and all those things. Of course, in 3 Idiots, be like the hero Amir Khan only, but idea is learn. In that also, hero was not a waste fellow. He learned, he learned, he loved his concept, he learned the concept, he applied the concept. Finally, the rank followed him. He didn't go beyond the rank. He made sure that rank followed him. Fine, the same way I am telling you, try to understand the concept, try to keep your aim clear. Aim is getting the job. For job, you have to understand these concepts properly, apply the concepts, do it properly in the examination, automatically rank follows you. Your first rank will follow you. Fine. So why you are spending this much amount of time over here and reading or constantly doing all those things? To get the first rank. Whatever you want to say, you can say. Whatever you want to you can mean, but idea is to get the first rank. If you get the first rank, you will get the better job, better life. you will be in a good position actually. It doesn't mean that if you don't clear IES you are a waste fellow. You will do the other jobs also, but this is the best job, best choice, one of the best choice. If you are becoming entrepreneur or constructing something, that is a different idea. But today you are sitting and listening to my class is to clear engineering services to get the best job in India. For that you should be very much focused for this 4 months, travel with the professors, and for structural analysis travel with me constantly. I will make sure that you will get better marks in structural analysis, whatever 40 to 60 marks also, out of 100% of marks will be scored by you without any wastage of time. Okay. So I hope you follow this, not only in my subjects, in all the subjects. The thing is, civil engineering means this is not college that I will say this is my favorite subject, this is my favorite subject. No, you have to cover every subject. You should have a basic knowledge about each and every subject, formulas, application of it, concepts of it, and then club everything and give properly. If you are having love towards one subject, that's okay, you can say that in interview and then you can get the marks over there. But idea is you have to give, you have to share your knowledge, or you have to give proper time for each and every subject. Fine. Any doubts in this? You can ask me. If you are not having any doubts, I will enter into the structural analysis. Please go ahead. Please share this syllabus link, please. Come on, yeah. Go to Engineering Services 2020, just type it, you will get it. Aman Kumar, yeah, you can, why for knowledge? If you are in 5th semester, try to learn, because this will be your, if you learn today, automatically you can easily score after 2 years. After 2 years you can score better. And Tabriz, yeah, if you understand, that's, I'll be happy with my, if you understand my English, I'll be very much happy with that. Why? Because people will find difficulty in understanding English. If you are okay with it, I am also happy with it. Next, any Kirti Dhanwant, I don't know what is that message, sorry. 7 to 9 is the best choice, okay. How much drop of 3 to 4 year is a disadvantage in ESE? I am preparing for GATE 2022. If you are preparing for GATE 22 also, it's okay, because the syllabus is same. Syllabus is same. Learn all the concept, write GATE, engineering services, state services, SSCJ, all the exams, get the appointment letter from all the places, then choose the best one for you. Engineering services, you go and join. If you are comfortable with GATE, go and join in GATE. If you are comfortable with state services, go and join. If you are comfortable with SSCJ, go and join it. But learn the concept, attempt each and every examination. That is the idea. Next, how much drop of 3 to 4 years is a disadvantage in engineering services? If you have not prepared for 3 to 4 years, now you are coming, there is no disadvantage. If you ask me, that is an added advantage, because you can start from your basics. We will be teaching from basics. We will not be directly going into and solving the big problems. I will be teaching from the basics. From very basic you can understand. That is not a disadvantage, that is an added advantage. Any doubts, guys? Any doubts? Please keep on sharing this with as many people as possible. Any doubts? If you are not having any doubts, I will go for the structural analysis introduction part. Any doubts, guys? Any doubts? Prabhakar Mishra said no doubts. Keep on commenting, guys. If you don't chat, I can't understand. In the class I can see your faces and I can understand. Here just comment so that I'll understand what exactly is happening with you. If you are not having any doubts, I'll go with the introduction of structural analysis. Introduction of structural analysis. No doubts. Fine. So be careful and all the best. We are starting a journey right now in structural analysis or whatever it is. We are starting a journey, and all the best for all of you guys who are present in this class, or who is going to see in the future also. Very best. Just travel with me for some point of time and travel with the professors of GATE Academy, so that you'll reach your destination safely. Fine. Let's start our journey. Structural analysis. Structural analysis. So, if you see structural analysis, the amount of marks would be generally, I told you 20 to 40, let us say 40 to 50 marks also can be asked from structural analysis. We don't know, only from prelims point of view. Fine. Structural analysis, in that what are the different topics? First one is determinacy. Chapter 1 would be determinacy and indeterminacy of the structures. Determinacy and indeterminacy of the structures Fine. Second one would be trusses. Trusses, in the analysis of trusses, deflection in the trusses, analysis of determinate trusses, analysis of indeterminate trusses, all those things will be seen. Third one would be ILDs, influence line diagrams. Influence line diagrams. Influence line diagrams, ILDs. Fourth one, determinacy and indeterminacy, trusses, influence line diagrams. Fourth one would be analysis of indeterminate structures. Analysis of indeterminate structures. It can be beams or frames. Indeterminate beams, structures, indeterminate structures, in that it can be beams and frames. Indeterminate structures, it can be beams and frames. Analysis of indeterminate structures, that means here we will be seeing moment distribution method, slope deflection method, Clapeyron's theorem of 3 moments, all those things will be seen in analysis of indeterminate structures. Fine. Next, your fifth chapter would be cables, arches. Cables and arches will be your fifth chapter, and finally sixth chapter would be matrix method of analysis. Matrix method of analysis. Matrix method of analysis. These are the 6 chapters that I will be discussing with you. Notes will help you a lot, so try to take down the notes properly, because while revising it help you a lot. And whatever the subject, if I am discussing this subject today, after the class try to revise those subjects on that day only and try to solve as many problems as possible, so that it will be helpful for you. And make sure that you are having previous years engineering services questions booklet with you, whether it is GATE Academy or any other academy. I don't have any issues with it, but make sure that previous years, at least 20 to 25 years booklet is with you. Am I clear? Try to maintain that booklet with you, so that it will be helpful for your analysis. If you do that booklet for all the subjects 2 to 3 times, it is very much helpful for you. It will be very, very helpful for you. Mark my words, it will be really very helpful for you if you do that 2 to 3 times. Only previous years engineering questions, engineering services questions, prelims, if you do that, definitely you will get the better score. Fine, remember that. So these are the 6 topics that 6 chapters I will be discussing in your structural analysis. Please note down. Please carry on. Yeah, fine, we are ready. Yeah. Determinacy and indeterminacy of the structures and all those things, please note down. This will help you a lot at the end while you are revising. Like at the end when you see, okay, indeterminacy and determinacy of the structures, these are the concepts that we have discussed, these are the formulas, and this is the application that we have done. Fine, this is done. Trusses, in trusses, okay, method of joints, method of sections, and then deflections in the trusses, strain energy method, and then we have discussed temperature effects, and we have discussed lack of fit, and then analysis of indeterminate stresses. Yeah, we know all these things. Trusses is done. Influence line diagrams for reactions, shear force, bending moment, for member of forces in the trusses, yeah, and like for finding out horizontal thrust in the arches, fine, this is done. Here, yeah, moment distribution method, carryover moment, carryover factor, distribution factor, relative stiffness, fine, slope deflection method, how you are going to generate the equations for the slope deflection method, how you are going to find out the theta, and how you are going to find out the deflections, and then Clapeyron's theorem of three moments. In Clapeyron's theorem of three moments, how we are going to find out the indeterminate forces, and there are some portal frame method and all those things methods are cantilever method, portal frame method, approximate method of structural analysis, fine, that is also done. Then if you go cables and arches, cables means the members will be taking only axial forces only. So in cables, this is how you are going to find out the members, like tension in the cables. Arches, in arches, how you are going to find out forces in the arches, 3-hinged arch, 2-hinged arch, temperature effects, lack of weight, rib effects. Next, matrix method of analysis, stiffness matrix method, flexibility matrix method, and then what are the properties of stiffness matrix method, what are the properties of flexibility matrix method. If stiffness matrix method is given, how to find out flexibility matrix method. Finally, your structural analysis is completed. This is how at the end you have to revise. It should not be like you'll open the book and once again you'll start from the starting. Okay, now we will go from the starting, and once again you will open the book, you will go from the starting. Once again after 10 days you will open the book, you will go from the starting. That is not revision. Revision means, like, once if you have read, you should store everything in your brain, and whenever you want something you should go into that, search deeper and go to that point, get the answer. That's how you have to revise. Revision should not be like opening and reading, nothing. It should not be like that. And constant revision for every 10 to 15 days, people will generally forget something. So constant, if you feel like you have forgotten, just try to remember. If you don't remember, open the book and see that concept. Try to solve the problems. Once if you solve the problems, automatically you feel like, okay, if you are able to solve, it's okay, I remember the formula, I was able to solve, it's fine. If you are not able to solve, then open the concept and read. Fine. This should be this. That is the reason I am making you write all these things. Can I go for the can I start the first chapter, determinacy and indeterminacy of trusses, not trusses, of structures, determinacy and indeterminacy, determinacy and indeterminacy of structures. See guys, I might have taken 1 hour of your time, but I think I have given an idea of what is engineering services and how exactly it should be dealt with. I hope I have not wasted your time, just given some detailed information with you. So if you are having any doubts, you can ask me. If not, I'll start my first chapter, determinacy and indeterminacy of the structures. Tabriz, this is only mainly focus is on prelims, but I'll solve some main conventional questions also. Focus is mainly on prelims. Bridge topic, not one much, like it will be like cable stayed bridge, cable suspended bridges. So I'll be discussing only the cables over there, so no issues. Next, can I start guys? Determinacy and indeterminacy of the structures. If at least one person say yes, I'll go with it. And whoever was present till yesterday, like till yesterday I was taking GATE Academy Global, I was taking surveying and structural analysis. If you are present over here also, it's okay guys, continue, join in this journey also. If you are preparing for this, you can solve gate problems also. Don't feel like, sir, you have left me out. I'll never leave you out over there. There also I have discussed structural analysis. Here also I'll be discussing structural analysis. Be part of it. This crash course will help you clear gate also. If possible, I'll take surveying also in the Gate Academy global channel. So that concepts will also be covered. So please be patient. Like, you know, you're just, I think this will be a revision for you because I have discussed those classes previously also. Fine, be with me. Okay, no issues with that. So SS, fine. And yeah, static indeterminacy. Determinacy and indeterminacy, the first thing that will come to my mind is static indeterminacy. In that there will be two things: external static indeterminacy, internal static indeterminacy. External static indeterminacy, internal static indeterminacy. External static indeterminacy, internal static indeterminacy. What exactly is external static indeterminacy? External static indeterminacy. External static indeterminacy. If you want to find out what exactly is external static indeterminacy, it is number of unknown reactions, number of unknown reactions over and above number of unknown reactions over and above equilibrium equations. Number of unknown reactions over and above equilibrium equations. Number of unknown reactions over and above equilibrium equations, that is called external static indeterminacy. What exactly this means? DSE, external static indeterminacy, is generally given as R minus S, number of unknown reactions over and above the equilibrium equations. Suppose I'll take a basic example. Basic beam I'll consider. Beam. So this is an hinge support. This one is a roller support. This one is a roller support. I hope you know what is hinge support or what is roller support. If you don't know what is a hinge support means, you know, the door can rotate like this. At the end, if door is fixed, right, that is considered as hinge support. That means in hinge support, if you are taking hinge support, you can't move in vertical direction, you can't move in horizontal direction, but you can rotate. Are you getting it? You can rotate, but you can't move in vertical direction, you can't move in horizontal direction. You can't move like this, you can't go like this, but you can rotate. Are you getting it? So at hinge support, generally how many reactions will be there? There will be two reactions, like, you know, perpendicular and parallel. Perpendicular to the support and parallel to the support, there will be two reactions. Why two reactions? When you apply the load, it can't move in horizontal direction. Are you getting it? Let us say you are applying some load in the horizontal direction. Fine. You are trying to apply some load, but there will be resistance from here because this can't move in horizontal direction. So the horizontal reaction will be developed. Similarly, if you are applying some vertical load, it can't move like this. Why? Because there will be a reaction like this. This is a hinge support, it can't move, but it can rotate, it can bend. Are you getting it? It can rotate. It can rotate like this. Fine. There will be rotation, but there will not be movement in perpendicular to the support or as well as parallel to the support. Two reactions are developed here, VA, VB. Sorry, VA, HA. I will write this as VA and HA. Fine. At roller support means it can't move in the vertical direction or in perpendicular direction, but it can move in horizontal direction and it can rotate. So how many reactions at the roller? At the roller, you will be having only one reaction. At the roller, if I take this as B, at the roller you will be having only one reaction. Why? Because it can't move in the vertical direction, so reaction is developed. Reaction is what? Action is applying the force. Here it can't move. Why? Because it is fixed. I mean fixed in the vertical direction, so reaction will be developed. For every action there is reaction. But if you apply the load in horizontal direction, it will move. That's why this is called roller support. So if you don't know hinge support, at hinge support, whenever I show it like this is a hinge support, there will be two reactions. At hinge support there will be two reactions. At roller support, there will be only one reaction. At roller support there will be only one reaction. At hinge support there will be two reactions. At roller support there will be one reaction. At fixed support, whenever I say support is fixed means like this. You can't move in horizontal direction, you can't move in vertical direction, and you can't rotate. You can't move in horizontal direction, you can't move in vertical direction also. Three reactions will be developed, that is vertical, horizontal, and moment will also develop. You can't rotate it. Here you can rotate, like here you can rotate the member, here also you can rotate the member, but here you can't rotate the member. If you try to rotate, there will be resistance from here, right? So at fixed support there will be three reactions. These are basic supports. The other types of supports and all those things I'll discuss that later, but these are very basic supports that you have to know. Hinge support, roller support, and fixed support. Two reactions, one reaction, three reactions will be there. Fine. Now, so here there are two reactions, here there is one reaction. What is the total number of reactions? Total number of reactions is total number of reactions are equals to 3. Now, what is the number of equilibrium equations? What is the number of equilibrium equations? Number of equilibrium equations S. Number of equilibrium equations S. How many number of equilibrium equations are there? Generally a structure is said to be in equilibrium if summation of forces, so I'll write it over here. A structure is said to be in equilibrium, you can take it as a note. A structure is said to be in equilibrium. A structure is said to be in equilibrium if summation of forces in x direction equals to 0, summation of forces in y direction is equals to 0, summation of moments about any support equals to 0. Any support, whether it is here or here, summation of moments about any support or at any point, it should be equals to 0. Fine. So how many number of equations are there? Equilibrium equations. S equals to 3. Fine. For generally in normal cases, if summation of the member is said to be in equilibrium, if sum of all the forces in x direction, sum of all the forces in y direction, moments about any support equals to 0. So the number of equilibrium equations generally would be 3. So DSE, external indeterminacy, would be equals to R minus S, 3 minus 3, that is equals to 0. You might be knowing this, but once again I am giving all these things so that I am starting from the basics. So DSE is R minus S, 3 minus 3, that is equals to 0. Fine. So external indeterminacy, for that you should find out the number of reactions. Number of reactions here 1 plus 1 plus 1, 3 reactions are there. Number of equilibrium equations is 3. DSE you got it as 0. Fine. Similarly Similarly, if I try to find out for this structure, for this beam, I'll call this as generally fixed beam. Okay, this is fixed beam and I will be applying a load like this. For fixed beam, there is horizontal load, there is vertical load and all those things. So if support is fixed, how many reactions will be there? How many reactions? 1, 2, here also it is 1, 2, and then there will be moments like this, moment like this. So the total number of reactions equals to total number of reactions R equals to, here it is 3, here it is 3. So total number of reactions equals to 6. Here it is 3, here it is 3. Total number of reactions equals to 6. And number of equilibrium equations. Number of equilibrium equations. Number of equilibrium equations S. Number of equilibrium equations S equals to, so it's generally like sigma fx equals to 0, sigma fy equals to 0, and summation of moments about any supports equals to 0. So if I take this, number of equilibrium equations is 3. Fine. If you want to find out DSE, DSE equals to R minus S, 6 minus 3, that is 3. That is 3. So DSE is 3. Here you got DSE equals to 0. DSE equals to 0 here, DSE equals to 3 here. Fine. Once you get DSE equals to 3, now what I can say is external indeterminacy is 3. That means by using these 3 equations, you can find out 3 forces, either this 3 or this 3. We can't find another 3 forces. You can only find 3 forces by using 3 equilibrium equations. We can't find another 3 forces. Therefore, the structure is called indeterminate structure. Indeterminate, the name itself says we can't determine all the reactions. Number of unknown reactions over and above equilibrium equations. Here you can find only 3 reactions, there will be 3 unknown reactions. So DSE equals to 3. Here you can find out all the reactions. So you can say this is determinate structure, externally determinate structure. So if I try to write this, how I can write is, if DSE equals to 0, externally determinate structure, externally determinate structure. Fine. If DSE is more than 0, externally indeterminate structure, externally indeterminate structure. Fine. I am talking about determinacy and indeterminacy here. I am not talking about stability and instability. Once that case comes, I will discuss that later. But here a structure is said to be externally determinate if DSE equals to 0. If DSE is greater than 0, then structure is said to be externally indeterminate. So externally indeterminate, if you see here, externally indeterminate structure this is, and this one is externally determinate structure. Now any doubts in this, you can ask me. Fine. Any doubts? Please go ahead and ask me the doubts, and please take down the notes properly. External static indeterminacy, external static indeterminacy, number of unknown reactions over and above the equilibrium equations. So here number of reactions you have to find out. For different supports there will be different reactions. I will discuss the different types of supports later. The basic supports I have given to you. This is hinge support, this is roller support. This beam is called as simply supported beam. If one end is hinged, other end is a roller, then it is considered as simply supported beam. Number of reactions is 3, number of equilibrium equations is 3, DSE equals to 0, statically determinate. Determinate means you can find out these 3 reactions by using 3 equations. And this structure, if you see, this is fixed beam. Fixed beam, it is fixed on both the ends, so this is called as fixed beam. Fine, this is fixed beam, number of reactions is 6, number of equilibrium equations is 3, so DSE is R minus S, that is 3. Fine. Since it is greater than 0, it is externally indeterminate structure. Indeterminate means you can't find out, you can only find 3 forces, other 3 forces you can't find out by using 3 equations. You have to use another equations called compatibility equations, that we will discuss while the analysis. Here only finding out determinacy and indeterminacy. Fine. This is the idea. Anyway, these are the equilibrium equations and then these are the supports. Any doubts? And take down the notes properly. Let me know where to stop. Fine. Any doubts you can ask me. Effectively held in position but allowed to rotation means hinge support. You can call that also as hinge support. In beams, horizontal reactions are ignored. See, Prabhakar Mishra, in beams horizontal reactions are ignored. That case I will discuss that later. Horizontal reactions are ignored only if there are no horizontal loads. That case I will discuss that later. This is a very general case. In this concept, if you are having any doubts, you can ask me. What is static indeterminacy? That is what I am saying. Static indeterminacy is divided into 2 parts. There is external static indeterminacy and there is internal static indeterminacy. What is external static indeterminacy? I have discussed number of unknown reactions over and above the equilibrium equations. I will discuss what is internal static indeterminacy also, then you will understand what is static indeterminacy. Fine. So, in static indeterminacy I have discussed first part. What is external static indeterminacy? External static indeterminacy. Internal static indeterminacy I will discuss later. External static indeterminacy is number of unknown reactions over and above the equilibrium equations. Please note down the things properly. The slides are from 7 to 13, 7, 8, 9, 10, this is 11, this is 12, this is 13. Fine, ask me which slide I have to stop. I'll stop that slide and you can note down. Fine. Please note down the things properly. Any doubts? Any doubts? Any doubts, guys? Ask me whatever the doubts you are having. Up to here, only up to here you can ask me your doubts. Note, take down the notes properly. Take down the notes properly. Boss, all clear, all clear. People are saying it's all clear. That's good to hear. Of course, Cheryl, I am from the starting. I am saying I'll be, I'll be taking full course properly. Please don't have doubts on it and don't ask me this question. Once again I am saying I'll definitely complete all the syllabus because this is a crash course. The name itself says it's a crash course. It's not that I'll leave you in between and I'll go, right? Once again I am saying this, please don't ask me this one more time. Any doubts? And if other people are having any doubts, please ask me. How many days? I'll be completing it as fast as possible because this is a crash course. It depends on your cooperation and how much time you are taking for noting it down and your doubts and everything. Start? Yeah, fine. I can start now. So I hope you have noted down this properly. In the beams, this is how you are going to find out. I said structures. In the beams, this is how you are going to find out external indeterminacy. In trusses, if I take let us say there is a truss. What is difference between beam and a truss is an axial member. Axial member means it can take only compression or tension. It will not take any other things. It will not take bending. It will take either tension or it will take compression. It's an axial member. If it bends, it is not called as truss, it is called as frame. If it bends, it is not called as truss, this is called as frame. So if I take this as some truss, the number of reactions in the truss would be same thing, DSE. I am talking about external indeterminacy only, DSE. DSE would be equals to, how you are going to find out, R minus S, number of reactions minus number of equilibrium equations. This is a truss. Difference between truss and beam or frame is, truss member there will be either tension or there will be compression, but it will not bend. Once again I say, throughout in the trusses also I will discuss this concept, but difference between truss, frame and beam is, truss will take either tension or compression. It will not take any bending moment. Fine. Anyway, I am talking about external indeterminacy. External indeterminacy is calculated as R minus S. What are the number of reactions here? If I take this as some A, this as some B, here it is VA, here it is HA, here it is VB. Number of reactions equals to 3. Number of equilibrium equations is also equals to 3. DSE. DSE equals to 3 minus 3, that is 0. I will call this as externally determinate structure. So if you want to find out external indeterminacy of the structure, this is how you will find out for truss also. Whenever I say external indeterminacy, it deals with only the reactions. It will not deal with any other thing. Please be very much clear in this. External indeterminacy, it deals with only the reactions. It will not deal with any other things. Fine. This is for trusses. Next, for frames. For frames, if I consider for frames, so in frames there will be, let us say, this is a fixed support, this is an hinge support, this is some roller support, this is a roller support, this is the frame, let us say. Fine. Frames are the members which will bend. Apart from tension, compression, there will be bending also in the frames. Fine. Anyway, if I talk about external indeterminacy, DSE equals to R minus S. Number of reactions, here it would be 1, 2, 3, and here it would be 1, 2, and here also it would be 1. Reactions 1. Here it is 3, here it is 2, here it is 1. So the total number of reactions R would be equals to 6, and number of equilibrium equations, you know, that is equals to 3. DSE equals to 6 minus 3, that is equals to 3. So DSE equals to 3, it is externally indeterminate structure. Externally externally indeterminate structure. Externally indeterminate structure. So DSE for trusses, this is how you find out. Whenever I discuss about external indeterminacy, it only deals with the supports. You don't have to worry about truss, frame or beam. Whenever I say external indeterminacy, you have to see the trusses. So I mean you have to see the supports. Once if you know the supports, this is how you are going to find out the external indeterminacy. Any doubts in this? Ask me. This is for truss and this is for frames. Torsion is not possible, guys. Compression, tension, shear, bending, torsion. So generally we deal with compression, tension and bending and shear. Torsion is not applicable over here, I can say. We are only worried about compression, tension, bending, shear. And in truss, it will be taking only axial tension or axial compression. It will not take any other bendings. Fine. Torsion is not possible for the given types of loadings. We are not worried about torsion here. Any doubts? Any other doubts? Please go ahead and ask me. Any doubts? Any doubts? No doubts? No doubts? Shear in truss is not applicable. We can't exactly say that, guys. Why? Because here, you know, in truss there is something called panel shear that I will discuss in stable and unstability things. But in truss there will be something called panel shear that I will discuss that later. But I will not say that shear is not applicable. Torsion, I can say it is not applicable over here. Fine, clear? Only some people are commenting. What about the other guys? Keep on commenting, guys. I can't go like that, Abdindra. Why? Because for after each and every concept, I'll be asking you the doubts. You can ask me the doubts. Then only I can go and see, because I can't do and see at the simultaneously. I have to go travel some distance. Then only I have to see. So please bear with it. If you are having any doubts, this is how it is. And please take the notes properly. If you don't take the notes, it's your big mistake. That's what I say. External indeterminacy is completed. Now we will go with the internal indeterminacy. Internal static indeterminacy. Internal static indeterminacy. So internal static indeterminacy, what exactly it says? Internal static indeterminacy, what exactly it says is number of unknown internal forces, number of unknown internal forces over and above equilibrium equations. Over and above equilibrium equations. So number of internal forces that we can't find. For beams, if I consider, how exactly for beams we'll see. See, for beams, let us say this is a beam with these supports. Fine, this is a beam. If they ask for the external indeterminacy is reactions over here, moments over here, reaction here, and there will be reaction here. Fine. So we can find out the external indeterminacy. So if you know the external indeterminacy, that means if you know the forces in all the things, let us say I know the reaction here. If I say this is A, B, C, VA, HA, MA, this is VB, and let us say there is some HB and this is VC. Fine. External indeterminacy is 6 minus 3, that is 3. Fine. Internal indeterminacy. If I know the reaction, internal indeterminacy is unknown forces. What would be the unknown forces? It can be axial force, shear force, or bending moment. It can be axial force, shear force, or bending moment at any points. Fine. Axial force means horizontal force. Fine. I am assuming that you don't know the basics of strength of materials. So that's why I am saying this is axial force. Shear force at any section means if at this section some of the forces, if I want shear force at this section, some of the forces to the left or to the right, sum of forces to the left, or right, some of the forces to the left or right. Shear forces. Fine. Bending moment means it will try to bend something like this. So what is the bending moment at any location? Bending moment at any location would be sum of the moments to the left, sum of the moments to the left or right, sum of the moments to the left or right. Axial force, it can be either tension or it can be compression. Shear force, shearing like this. Bending moment. Fine. At any point, if you want to find out the bending moment, let us say for the beam, let us say I know all the reactions. I know VA, HA, MA, VB, HB, VC. All the reactions if I know, if I let us say if I want to find out what is the bending moment at D, this distance I'll say it as some L. Bending moment at D, if I want to find out, VA into L minus MA. Bending moment at D would be equals to VA multiplied with L minus MA. Fine. What would be the shear force at D if they ask? Shear force at D would be equals to simply, what is the shear force? You can say that is VA. Simply you can say that is VA. Shear force, sum of the forces to the left if I take, simply I will take it as VA. What is the axial force at D? Axial force at D, there is only HA like this, so there will be HA like this. Axial force at D would be equals to HA. So if I know VA, HA, MA, can I calculate shear force, bending moment, axial force here? Similarly, I can calculate shear force, bending moment, axial force at any point, right? So if I know the reactions, I can find out the internal forces. If I know the reactions, I can find out the internal forces. So generally in the beams we will say that internal indeterminacy is 0. We can find out all the forces, that means all forces are determinate. There is no indeterminacy. All forces are determinate. There is no indeterminacy. That's why we say beams are internally determinate. So your note point would be, note point is, if we know the reactions, at supports, we can easily find if we know the reactions, we can easily find internal forces, we can easily find internal forces in the members, we can easily find internal forces in the members. If we know the support reactions, we can find the internal forces in the members. Internal forces means example is axial force, shear force, and bending moment. Axial force, shear force, and bending moment. So we can find out internal forces in the members. Hence beam is internally determinate. Hence beam is internally determinate. So what I can say, hence beam is internally determinate. That means DSI equals to 0 for the beams. You can find out all the internal forces. Since you can find out all the internal forces, DSI for the beam I can take it as 0. So for overall static indeterminacy would be equals to DSE plus DSI. DSE is R minus S plus DSI you are taking it as 0. So simply external static indeterminacy is given as something like this. Only for beams. This is not for anything else. For beams, internal indeterminacy is 0. So overall static indeterminacy equals to external static indeterminacy R minus S. This is in general. There are exceptional cases. I will discuss that exceptional cases also, but this is in general. In general, if they are static indeterminacy for the beam, it is ds equals to dse plus dsi equals to 0. So ds equals to R minus S. Overall static indeterminacy equals to external static indeterminacy plus internal static indeterminacy. Fine. So here in this, what I have discussed is for the beams, internal indeterminacy is number of unknown internal forces over and above the equilibrium equations. So number of unknown internal forces, if we know all the reactions, we can easily find out the internal forces. Since we can find out internal forces, what I am saying is it is internally determinate. That means DSI equals to 0. So for beams, ds equals to dse plus dsi, ds equals to R minus S. Any doubts in this, you can ask me, and please note it down properly. Vasant Tamarai, hi. If concrete force acting and roller provided, then sir, in every structure is unstable. If concentric force acting and roller provided, then is every structure is unstable. That depends here, where you are acting, concentrating. Where the concentric force is acting, that depends. Darshan, you can't exactly say. It depends upon where you are acting that concentric force and where you are providing roller support. So please be clear with the question. Thank you, Praveen Kumar. And Vasant, hi Gino. I don't know what is meant by Gino. Vasant Tamarai. I think you are from Tamil Nadu. Hi Pa. Yeah, this would be correct. Yeah, Vasant Tamarai. Hi. Any doubts in this? You can ask me, and if you are clear, I'll go with the truss. Any doubts? Any doubts? Hi. AC sir, what is AC? All clear. Oh wow, short form for it. Will it be uploaded sir? Where? I don't know what you are asking about uploading. If you like, I think the video will be in liked videos. That is the only thing I know. I don't know anything else. So don't ask me about it. No doubt. Good. Next, fine, I'll go for the next. I don't know about that nickel whether it is available in private or not, but one thing I can say that if you like the video, I think this will be stored in your liked videos and you can watch that I can assure you, but whether it will be given in private or not, it depends upon the management. I can't say anything about that. Fine, this is with the beams, this is with the beams. And now if I go with the truss, I'll give you basic understanding of the truss, not clear understanding, because in depth we'll be discussing in the chapter of trusses, but the very basic understanding. Truss is in the triangular form. Truss which is present in the form of triangle, is generally considered as basic, stable and determinate truss. Basic, stable and determinate truss. Fine. A triangular truss is generally considered as basic, stable and determinate truss, with one end is hinged, other end is a roller. You can find out DSE. Fine. Now at each and every joint there will be two equations you can write. At each and every joint there will be two equations, that is sigma fx equals to 0, sigma fy equals to 0. Summation of forces in x direction equals to 0, summation of forces in y direction is 0 if joint is in equilibrium. If joint is in equilibrium, summation of forces in x direction equals to 0, summation of forces in y direction equals to 0. There will be two equations. Two equations means if you are having two unknowns, you can find out two equations. By using two equations, you can find out two unknowns. Fine. So that means at each and every joint, the minimum number of members should be 2. At this joint, if there are two members are meeting at this joint, then forces in these two members can be found out by using sigma fx equals to 0, sigma fy equals to 0. Right? By using this at this joint, sigma fx 0, sigma fy equals to 0, two equations, two unknowns. You can find out these two unknowns. Fine, well and good. That means we can find out the internal forces. Internal forces means forces in the members. Fine. Now I said this is the basic truss. Basic truss means here there are two equations, here there are two equations, here there are two equations. Totally how many joints? 3 joints, 2 equations means there are 6 equations, but there are only 3 members. Fine. And this is considered as determinate truss. So generally how the equation is developed is DSI equals to m minus of, it should be 2j, number of members minus 2 times joints. Why 2 times is there are 2 members meeting over here, 2 unknowns, and at each joint there will be two equations, right? So simply I have to write it as m minus of 2j, right? 2 members and 2 into 1. Why 2? Because there will be 2 equations. So DSE should be m minus of 2j, so I will write it as 0. This is how it should be. But if you see, the basic stable truss is a triangular truss. Basic stable truss is a triangular truss, and triangular truss number of members is 3 and number of joints is 3. What it will become is 3 minus of 2 into 3, that would be minus 3. Fine. And I will say this is unstable truss, but in actual that is stable truss, so I will subtract 3 from here. This is how the formula is developed. Number of members minus of 2j minus 3. Why minus 3 is, initially instead of 6 members there are only 3 members here, and this is considered as basic truss. So you have to remove that 3. That is the reason DSI equals to m minus of 2j minus 3. Number of members minus 2j minus 3. Why 2j minus 3 is 2j minus 3 is initially at each and every joint there has to be 2 members. At this joint there is 2 members, this joint there is 2 members, this joint there is 2 members, but overall instead of 6 members there is only 3 members. That is the reason, and this is a stable determinate truss. Determinate means DSI should be equals to 0. So that's why he has taken m minus of 2j minus 3 here. The formula for this one is m minus of 2j minus 3, where m is the number of members, j equals to number of joints, fine. And if DSI equals to 0, I can write it as internally determinate. If DSI is greater than 0, I'll call this as internally indeterminate. I am not discussing stability and instability, that I will discuss later. Determinacy and indeterminacy, if I talk, internally determinate, internally indeterminate, DSI is the formula given to you. There are some exceptional cases where formula is also not valid, that I will discuss later, but in general DSI is given for the truss. It is given as m minus of 2j minus 3. If you understand the explanation of how you got this, it's fine. If not, if you remember this also, it is okay. DSI equals to m minus of 2j minus 3. M is number of members, j is number of joints. If for this truss, if you want to find out DSI, number of members is 3, number of joints is 3. So DSI equals to 0. This is determinate truss, basic determinate truss. Fine. So DSI equals to 0, DSI is greater than 0. This is how you can write. Finally, for trusses, total static indeterminacy equals to external indeterminacy plus internal indeterminacy. External indeterminacy is R minus S, internal indeterminacy is m minus of 2j minus 3, ds. Fine. If ds equals to 0, I say this is statically determinate. If ds is greater than 0, I'll say this as statically indeterminate. I am not talking about stability, I am just saying determinacy and indeterminacy. Statically indeterminate. This is statically determinate, this is statically indeterminate. Any doubts in this, you can ask me. So directly if you remember, this one is also fine, m minus of 2j minus 3. This is how you are going to find out. Any doubts in trusses? Please ask me. So DSI cannot be greater than 3. No, DSI should not be more than 0. It's not like greater than 3. The minimum number of members should be 3 members. For that, this should be stable and determinate. Triangular truss is considered as stable truss. DSI can be 0. It's not like it should not be greater than 3 or less than 3. DSI is equals to 0 here. Why I have substituted 3 is, there are 3 joints. At 3 joints there should be 6 members, but instead of 6 members there are only 3 members. Then also it is stable and determinate. So that's why I have subtracted 3. That is the meaning of it. Fine. So any doubts? Dipanjan Tripathi, what you have asked, is there S equals to 2? S equal to 2 means what? S equals to 2, I don't understand. S means what? Oh, S, this one. You are asking number of equilibrium equations. That case is there where S will be 2. I will discuss that case. But right now I have discussed in general case. Please ask from here. S is equals to 2 case, I will discuss that later. What exactly is meant by determinate and indeterminate means? Statically determinate and indeterminate means, determinate means if you are able to find out the reactions and internal forces, I will say structure is statically determinate. That means in any truss or any structure, I have to find out the reactions. If I am due to the loads due to the externally applied loads, I must be able to find out the reactions and forces. If I am able to find out the reactions and forces, then I can say the structure is statically determinate. If I am not able to find out the reactions and forces, structure is statically indeterminate. If it is negative, then it is called as unstable structure. Generally, if it is negative, it is called as unstable structure. That I will discuss in stability and instability. That is why I have not discussed over here. Do not worry about it. Just in whatever I have said, if you are having any doubts, ask me. The extra concepts of S equals to 2 and if it is less than 0, what happens, that I will discuss that later. But up to here, if you are having any doubts, you can ask me. Stability and instability I am not discussing. Determinate and indeterminate I am discussing. Determinate means you should be able to find out forces and reactions, then it is determinate. If you are not able to find out forces and reactions, then it is indeterminate. Any doubts, you can ask me. Any doubts? Derivation once. Okay, fine, Prabhakar, see here. How exactly the derivation goes is, at every joint, how many equations will be there? If joint is in equilibrium, summation of force in x direction equals to 0, summation of force in y direction 0. Why there is no moment? I told you, truss is an axial member. It will take axial tension or axial compression. It will take axial tension or axial compression. So at every joint there will be two equations. So if two members are meeting, let us say, if two members are meeting at this joint, you can easily find forces in these two members. F1 and F2 can be found out by using two equations, right? Just take the components of F1 in horizontal direction, components of F2 in F1 and F2 in horizontal and vertical direction. You can find out F1 and F2. If three members are meeting, then what happens? You can only find two forces. You can't find one more force. Fine. So if you want to find out indeterminacy, generally what I will do is, I have to write number of members is m minus 2j. I can write this, right? Number of members is 3 and 2j, number of joints is 1. So here it is 1. Indeterminacy is 1. You can find two forces, you can't find one force. Indeterminacy is 1. I can write like this, right? But that means at each and every joint there should be minimum 2 members. Okay? So here how many joints are there? 1, 2, 3. There are 3 joints. How many members should be present? 6 members should be present. But how many members is there here? Only 3 members is there. Here there is no 6 members, there is only 3 members. But even though if there is 3 members, this is stable and determinate truss, right? So instead of m minus 2j, if I write m minus 2j, what happens? M minus of 2 into 3, this will become minus 3. this will become minus 3. But actually DSI for this should be 0. It should not be minus 3, it should be 0. This is determinate truss. So what I will do is, here indirectly I will add plus 3, plus 3, plus 3. This will become 0. So DSI, I will just add plus 3 so that this will become 0. That means indirectly this would be m minus of 2j minus 3. Just take 3 inside, so minus of 2j minus 3. This is how you will get this derivation. For at every joint, if there are 2 members, fine, we can find out forces in that 2 members easily. So here there are 3 joints, that means there should be 6 members, but instead of 6 there are only 3 members. And even then it is stable and determinate truss, that is the reason you are subtracting 3 from it, m minus of 2j minus 3. Is it clear now, Prabhakar? Prabhakar, is it clear? I think I took much time in this. Fine. So it's already 8:53 now. For frames, if I start, it will take another half an hour to 45 minutes because frames are some decent questions. That fine, frames I will discuss that later. Today I have given you an idea of what exactly is engineering services prelims, what is the first paper, what is the second paper. In the structural analysis, I have discussed with you what is static internal external indeterminacy, external indeterminacy in beams, trusses and frames are discussed, internal indeterminacy in beams and trusses are discussed. Frames, I will discuss that tomorrow. Till that time, if you are having any doubts, you can ask me. I will give you another 5 minutes of window. And this is Karthik Mandalapu signing off. Good night. You can ask me any doubts that you want to ask, guys. Any doubts? Any doubts? Class timings will be from 7 to 9. Cheryl Blossom, class timings will be from 7 to 9. I think people got reduced. I don't know why the views got reduced from 45 to 30. So please keep on sharing with as many people as possible. More number of views, more number of classes. क्रैश कोर्स इंग्लिश में नहीं, हिंदी में भी है. गेट एकेडमी CEME चैनल पे तो हिंदी में भी है. इंग्लिश आई विल बी टेकिंग इन इंग्लिश एंड there is some other people who will be taking in Hindi also. No issues with that. If you are comfortable in Hindi, go and see in CEME. And if you are comfortable with my class, I am very much happy for that. I just want people to be in my class, being selfish. So yeah, every day evening 7 PM will be my class. If there is some day which I am not available, I'll let you know before only. So every day evening 7 o'clock will be my class from 7 to 9. Darun Krishna DK. Only to make determinate 3 is added. There is no other concept. Prabhakar. So keep on sharing with as many people as possible, guys, so that it will be helpful for you. More amount of doubts. So more amount of people, then obviously management will give more interest to this. So yeah, please try to share, like, comment for as many people as possible. Yeah. So still you got 3 minutes of time. You can ask me whatever the doubts you want. I know I have not discussed frames I'll discuss tomorrow. That is an interesting concept, so I'll discuss that tomorrow. Naresham, thank you. Prabhakar, thank you. Abhitendra, thank you. Thanks for bearing with me for 2 hours. It's a big time actually. So any people, if I have missed in the chat, please, sorry, I have not done this deliberately. I might have overlooked. I think I have said hi to everyone, and then anything else, guys, you want to ask? you can ask me. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you for being there. Yeah, thank you, Pratiksha. Thank you, Farah. Thank you, Dipanjan. क्वेश्चंस प्रैक्टिस मैं अभितेंद्र कल करवा सकता हूँ आपसे क्योंकि आज तो अब तक कॉन्सेप्ट भी नहीं ख़त्म हुआ. कल आपको मैंने क्वेश्चंस सॉल्व करें, कल हम सॉल्व करेंगे क्वेश्चंस. मैक्सिमम अमाउंट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस विल बी सॉल्व टुमारो, नो इश्यूज विद दैट. Still you got 1 minute 30 seconds, guys. So I'll say only one thing: if you enter into some arena, be focused, be confident, and don't lose hope till the end. Fight till Prabhakar Mishra. It's not interesting, you can say it's worst, but please tolerate with it. उतना अच्छा नहीं है लेकिन I can manage. इधर उधर हो जाता है, like you know, I'll say he, she in between just because of grammatical mistakes. I can understand, you can ask me in Hindi, कोई problem नहीं है उसमें. You got 36 seconds, 35, 34, 33, 32, 30, 29. Thank you Abhitendra. 39, 20, 19, 18, 17, clock is ticking. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good night. Bye bye. Tata.